Welcome back to the Caster Desk. I hope that intro was just as jarring as that little bit of flute music right at the end of the advert.
I love flute music.
Myself and Kobe and Chronicle here for potentially the last game of the day. Mad Lions started off fantastically in game one and fumbled it. Then got dumpstered in game two. And it's up to them once again to figure out what are they going to do to keep their chances alive in the upper bracket. They picked blue side once again. Kobe, I don't know what Mad have to do to change, but they've shown they can get early leads. They've shown they can get a couple of advantages, but I do think that Aphelios they have to find an answer to Aphelios. Either ban it or pick it early.
Yeah, everybody's going to be looking directly at that. Everyone's going to have those memes where you're trying to figure out the last letter of banning Aphelios.
Yes.
Because Guma has destroyed them on it. But I don't think that is even close to the end of the adjustments that you have to make.
No, that's scary.
Exactly. So one of the biggest thing, we are always going to go back to this game number one where Mad Lions did so many positive things in bottom lane and in mid lane, where they had Hylissang making these surprise plays with his Pyke, with a hook champion, to try and create action for themselves, create their own openings. And then Niski and Elyoya winning the 2v2 mid with the outplay as well. Those two things, those are the sparks of what gave hope to Mad Lions overcoming T1 here in this series, and they're going to have to recreate that somehow.
Look, if I'm just looking at play cameras, I think specifically Haley down at the bottom, those are some stern, serious faces. And Chronicle, I mean, obviously the chips are stacked heavily against Mad Lions. Yet something you were saying to me during the break. Do you know, Carrier could just cook. Just let him cook. Carrier could pull something crazy out, then we go to game 4. I really hope that happens personally, but I don't expect it.
No, T1 have gotten a little better about that. What I specifically for draft want to see, I think we should let go of the cannon. I think the cannon
Yes.
B1 is such an important direction for your draft. There's a lot of different ways that you can use that for. Maybe you can free up some of the bans that you've been going for. I think the Lucians should stay banned, but something like the Jace, maybe you take a gamble there, let that up and pick something else, because the Cannon, even when they were as far ahead as they weren't able to actually get anything going with it. And T1 have also shown that they're very happy to just pick something to neutralize it, be it the K'Sante or be it the Karma, and then it doesn't really get anything done.
And then flexing that K'Sante as well, like just such a good move here from T1. I think in particular as well, banning away the Gragas has been huge. I think Niski really got to flex on that champion significantly throughout the LEC playoff run, especially on their run towards finals. Hylissang, man, they got Pyke in game 1, was banned in game 2. I will say just that one of the answers to the Aphelios question is, I don't think picking away is the best. I'm not super in love with Kazi's Aphelios personally, so if it is banned, Lucian, Nidalee, Jace have been the 3 blue side bans that Mad Lions have gone with so far. Either Nidalee or Jace, in my opinion, have to be let through, because I don't think you can let Lucian. I don't think you should let Lucian
that
draft
one's not negotiable.
Yeah, that one has to be stay on the draft.
And especially since T1 have been focusing on this very 5-on-5 oriented, protect Guma, front to back, team fighting focus. Let some other things through so that maybe they do switch up their strategy and you can have a different plan of attack.
London, whether or not you're supporting for T1 or Mad Lions, make sure you bring the noise here. Cardboard Box has been great. The energy has been amazing in the crowd. And we're just waiting for picks and bans to start. I see all the players sitting in the lobby. I'll give you an update as soon as we have it. But with draft moments away, T1 on the verge of not only winning the series, but then earning themselves a rematch against Gen G. It also will send Mad Lions to the lower bracket where they'll face off against Gen G. So while we didn't face off against G2, sorry. While we didn't see Mad versus G2 in the finals of our spring splits in the IC format, there's a potential of those interesting rematches of the respective regional finals here as we look at the head to the brackets.
Particularly, I think Gen G T1, even though even in the LCK we joke about how we see this every single time. There was a little bit of dumb one / D+. They stuck around for a little bit, but besides that, it's been mostly those 2 teams. But specifically with how the bracket played out, I think that rematch, a third best of 5 between those 2 teams, is something that I think even if you're not an LCK fan, you're going to be excited.
Yeah, and T1 have been
there it is.
Very, very good at making finals. They were in the finals of MSI last year, and they want to get to another one. That's the first step for them. Aphelios is banned away, so everybody quite happy with at least step 1 change. And step 2 was throwing the cannon out of the window and going with another first pick. Also very happy with this one. K'Sante obviously flexible to Niski as well as JC.
Really, really like the different direction here from Mad. As you were saying, at the start of game 2, we didn't know if it was a salty run back. Turned out to be one, so you have to swap things out. And T1, with the Aphelios taken away, will say, okay, we can't just play Jinx. This is something that they did throughout the entirety of last year's spring as well.
Can I ask you a quick question here? Do you want to know what Kazi's damage per minute is on Jinx across the 7 games he's played? I'll give you the number. It is 888. Do you want to know what Guma's plays? Well, hold on. Oh, excuse me, ignore me. Moving on. I got my wrong series. Looking for a minute now. Pivot.
A glitch in the quick stats, which were, by the way, stats that I had gotten. Ezreal is locked in for Carzzy here, though. This is another switch up, and this is a champion that allows Hilly to really play whatever he wants. Ezreal, super versatile for Carzzy here. For Carzzy, it has basically been the Ezreal or the Xayah for super defensive, or the Jinx, which has been taken away already by Guma. And so it just gives them a lot of options. They could go double poke down there. They could go roamer for him to try and make a difference elsewhere. But when you see the Jinx locked in there for Gumayusi, you know he's looking for those resets, and FLICKR Ahri will complement it. The pick possibilities here.
And listen to London, as soon as that Ahri was locked in, everyone very excited for FLICKR to be playing on one of those super influential champions. Definitely not your traditional kind of like Assassin, plays a little more of that supportive role in that mid lane. But Ahri has risen in priority throughout the course of MSI, one of the most important mid laners. And once again, the support picks of Pyke as well as Lulu Bandaway.
And I think that T1 also identified, to me, the biggest difference maker, even though the bot lane went as well as it did, in game number 1 for Mad, and a lot snowballed from that, was how much impact Aoya was able to have. Due to the early 2v2 in mid-jungle going the way of Mad, they were able to continuously have prio, keep map control, and really pummel both side lanes from T1. And with this Ahri and Maokai combination, I think there is so much setup around these skirmishes, which is where I think Mad have kind of struggled the most.
And if you have Owner on the Maokai again, as we assume it is going to be, then the twisted advance into Charm, pressure on Nisqy.
Oh, yeah.
If Nisqy is going to be the one taking the Annie and they don't swap it down to bottom lane instead, is going to put a lot of kill pressure on that possible lane too to help out with all these options for T1. So T1 really diversifying compared to the first 2 games here with that Ahri pick.
I was kind of waiting for a fresh ban. Of course, we don't know yet what Zay's is going to pick, but Jinx and Fresh is something that Guma and Keria have used to a disgusting level of power in the LCK.
And of course, those final 2 bans, by the way, interested to see the Cannon banned away. Maybe expecting him to come back in. Nisqy actually has 0 games played on K'Sante mid ever. It's not going to be the Thresh instead of the Tahm Kench that we were talking about. And Jace was the final ban there from the Mad Lions. So TK now locked in. We're waiting to see what that final pick will be in the jungle for Ona. And Mad Lions have to run out the composition, Kobe.
I'm super excited for the Keria Tahm Kench because he has played it in multiple Champions Queue games in the last few days here. So he's definitely tip-top shape on that one. And he's going to be Lee Sin again here for Mad Lions.
Are there any shenanigans that the Professor can pull out? Perhaps. Nisqy's Annie left somewhat to be desired. I think in general, LEC Annies in mid leave something to be desired. And if this Swain is locked in, there is technically still a chance it can flex mid and bottom. But of course, will instead be the pivot. So Nisqy busts out his Twisted Fate. It is his 4th most played champion. 72% win rate. And that will mean Annie going bot, K'Sante top. And what will the answer here be from Owner?
Well, I think Owner is probably going to take the Maokai in his hands. So looks like Zeus might be on frontline duty again. They're going to go triple frontline. No Enchanter. First game here for no Enchanter for T1 for the extra boost onto Guma for the extra carrying power. But Jinx, if you just get the first kill anyway, then you get excited. And that's going to be the goal. I do like the switch from Mad Lions, though, to have Nisqy on his Twisted Fate. This is also a champion where he was famous for when he was playing in North America, ganking towards bottom lane. Maybe they can put some more pressure on Keria, Guma, Yushu. They do have the Tahm Kench to avoid one of them, but there are so many repeat stuns here and possibilities.
Man, this has just been, I'm off balance, this pick and ban. So we'll refocus up for the game. The one thing I do like about Twisted Fate, and the one thing that I'm having for some hopium, do you know all that zone control, all that crowd control, the difficulty to get into Yuma? Do you know how you get around that? Just Destiny behind him. You get full vision, you avoid all of that CC.
That is true, but if you throw a gold card, Devour is still up, and the rest of your team is looking at Maokai, Ahri, And Cyan might still run into some troubles, quick shot.
What I'm most excited for is mid-jungle 2v2s, though.
Oh,
the
yeah.
opening of this game, because each of these mid laners has set up complementary to their junglers here. So Twisted Fate plus Lee Sin, you can as well go on the attack from Mad Lions. Again, the recipe for success for them in the beginning of game number 1 was winning the mid-jungle 2v2 initially, and then as well, Hilly making some plays on bottom.
Let's find out what happens. London, I have a question for you. Do you think Mad Lions will bring this to game 4? It's a bit more volume than I was expecting. And who here thinks that T1 will close this series out right now? That's what I was hoping for, a little bit more volume here. I'm trying to lean into the local support, whether or not that 6th man can help Mad Lions out. Another game where the Mad Lions group up early, get both game 1 and game 2. They kind of pushed as 5. In game 2, they were able to find that first blood onto Ona. This time around, no target available for them. And I think we need to keep a close eye on how Kazi and Hylissang handle and deal with Guma and Keria. If Hilly is able to be unlocked, able to roam with that Annie, maybe combo with TF potentially. Maybe there's some of those tools as all of a sudden it's T1 that grouped up. I'm looking for a little bit of a late invade here.
Yeah. Niski's in a little bit of danger.
Gold Cup primed. Tongue Lash connects. Rockets being fired. Flash traded for the Ignite, and underneath the tower, Niski loses more than half of his hit points.
Oh, the mid-jungle 2v2 that I was so excited for just got really, really difficult for Niski and Elyoya. No flash on the Twisted Blade, plus Elyoya's getting zoned out of his own jungle.
Oh, gets knocked backwards. Decimating Smash will force the flash as well. Niski and Elyoya. If that 2v2 was hard already, now it is near impossible. That's a lick onto Kazi. A rocket fired from Guma. Hilly and Kazi stepping back. They will get into lane, but both mid, jungle for Mad Lions have lost their flashes.
And this Cyan strategy is something that T1 challengers actually pulled out as well, using the Cyan early on as a pressure point to generate an advantage for your jungler and making sure that Owner gets the early lead here.
Yeah, Zeus went in level 1 and warded the blue buff Gromp area, and then immediately recalled and walked all the way down mid lane to join T1 with the rest of their invade, and now you have 4 people ready and primed to dive bottom.
Oh, sapling toss. Gets the slow onto Kazi. Level 3 for Ona. Decimating smashes, sidestep, cleanse, flash. The shield comes up. Zeus is down. Bakuma's on the board. Got himself the kill. And Zombie Scion chases 2-1 to T1.
It's literally the same strategy, and it works just as well as it did there. T1 getting a death on a Cyan. We all know that that one doesn't matter. Teleports back towards the top lane. And an early kill for Gumayushi again.
Yeah, death on Scion, that's good death, actually.
Yes.
They want that because of the DPS of your zombie. Intentional there. You go in, you start off the dive, you get your bottom lane so incredibly far ahead, it is disgusting. I know even in LEC you saw this as well, BDS doing same thing. And
Very similar play. The bigger one for me is not only does the kill go to Yuma, he's also got himself a 2-wave lead already. And he comes back to lane with a double longswords into a cull. So it was already a difficult matchup. And now Jinx is accelerated so quickly at the 3.5 minute mark.
And Azrael is one of the champions where if you can get a couple of great Qs in the early game, you can actually put the enemy bot laner behind, right? Get them trapped in a cycle of bad recalls, keep the pressure up, particularly if you're playing double ranged into the melee Kench. But with this play, that's not going to happen.
Niski has no flash, remember. FLICKR trying to get him further up in the lane to get Owner some distance there, but not going to be able to tank that wave for too long. Pretty stacked up. It's just so difficult for Mad Lions. The level 1 for T1 was outstanding. It took away the possibilities of the mid-jungle plays from Mad Lions, burning both of their flashes, zoning them out of the jungle, and took over the bottom lane. Like, that's basically all of the early game territory that you want to work with. You don't want to work with the tank matchup on top side. So T1, absolute stuff here, as Owner takes away second spawn of Raptors as well. Obviously, they've got the timer on that one, and he flash twists his advance to avoid the stun from Hilly.
Yeah, I really like this play from Hilly.
Kazi pretty good, stepping forward from the dive, managing to escape. Had he been knocked up, Flame Chomper's down, that would have been a death. So Kazi, this is something we will see a lot. Not only has he got to play defensively in the 1v2 with Hylissang roaming, Ideally, Mad Lions want Annie to combo up with maybe Twisted Fate or one of the other lanes. Ona, as well as T1, have another plan, however. They've engaged, 3v2 for now. Guma's gonna arrive late to the party. Kazi's already running for his life with that arcane shift. He's ticking, he's burning, he's down. It's another 2 kills to T1 under the tower. And they're not done yet. This minion wave is significant. Aoya's trying to clear it out. Ona takes a turret shot, but he's fighting into a gigantic minion wave. And Aoya's running for his life, trying to sacrifice. I don't know, did he get tagged?
I think
that cat execute ends up landing, so denies another, but that is a gigantic lead already for T1.
And it starts off okay, right? Because I actually like the play from Hilly to try and apply pressure. Because if you're an Ezreal with Call and Boots and you're going up against Doran's Blade double longsword Jinx, like you're not getting anything done in that lane. But then, unfortunately, Owner is able to get out fine, and then on the counterplay, as they are able to get the wave, and even though Karst didn't die, did take a decent amount of damage, it sets up the subsequent dive, and even with Aoya and Hilly there, they lose the 3v3, and now this bot lane again, out of control.
I absolutely hate Scion level 1s. I mean, it's been used effectively, very, very effectively, but it is so game warping to even have that as an option. T1 just massively wiping Mad Lions early game, off of the map even. And with the repeat plays too, really good repeat plays kept up by T1. The revisit from Owner, continuing to play off the side of the map where they have all this pressure. They do, of course, sacrifice Zeus, and might have to sacrifice him again.
We're going to find out, but at what cost, right? Because while there's a 2v1 in the top lane, down in the bottom lane, this is turning into a 3v3. Destiny, Gate, Gold Card connects. Kazi's chasing Guma. He's got himself a bounty already. Niski needs a couple more autos. Guma escapes to the 100 HP. Kazi's focusing on Carrier. In the top lane, Zeus has managed to trade one back. Down in the bottom lane, though, Kazi and the rest of Mad are running for their lives. Niski's so incredibly low. FLICKR is arriving. Spirit Rush is available. Spirit Rush, Foxfire, Orb, and Deception of Mad Lions get dominated.
FLICKR has arrived. Flash ulti into them. Hits the charm under tower as well. T1 unstoppable here. Yeah, Zeus.
Wow.
Okay.
Shift's kiss, that was beautiful.
Oh, no. They're not done, Trevor.
They're not, they are. Mad Lions. Sorry, correction. Mad Lions are done. Chronicler, that was beautiful from T1.
Okay, I want to propose a deal to you guys.
Okay, what's that?
You get a Fed Cassante.
Okay.
I get a Jinx with 3 kills, an Ari with 2 kills, and a Maokai that's monster fed.
I mean,
what do you say?
It's already been accepted.
Yes.
No, man.
Well,
love to hear that.
It's definitely not the deal that I would have wanted to take, but look at that scoreboard. 206, 202, 302. Not only is there gold leads everywhere, it's concentrated, Kobe, in all the players you want. And even Scion, who was dove 2v1, still managed to pick up that kill and is on the same gold as Chasey. So that deal that you made, you lied, and the terms have not paid out.
Well, he's up in CS.
Elisang forced a flash, and Nature's Grasp flies out. He's charmed, he's caught, he's taken down. 10 kills for T1 at 8 minutes, and London is turning into a library as T1 have arrived and they've started their campaign at MSI in phenomenal fashion.
All right, FLICKR gonna come and try and chase Niski off the turret blade. Turret blade acquired. There you go, Trevor. 4 Mad Lions.
Glass half full. I like it, Kobe.
170 gold.
Even London's like, bro, too much. Because there's 3 plates secured for Guma in the bottom lane. 25 CS up. The Dragon is being secured here. And for Mad Lions, they are in so much threat. Carrier roaming. Another charm connects. Niski gets a shield, and it's Guma sniping from downtown. Super mega death rocket, sending Niski back to the fountain. That gold lead accelerating even further. And it looked like that Rift Herald as well. While it was picked up by Aoya, this bottom tower is under threat. Pow being used to do so much work here for Gumayushi. What's that? 2,000 gold lead in the bottom lane alone at 9 minutes. And now Carrier, do you know, I reckon they could even dive again if they wanted to.
And absolutely, like at this point, T1 can do whatever they want on the map. Well,
right now, T1 are going to be defending this top lane. Rift Herald was dropped. Shelly's going to get that charge in just a moment, at least moving the plates gold over to Chasey. He's pulled backwards. I'm keeping an eye on the mini-map. Mid lane is pushed in. Niski's got that Destiny available. And the only way that I see Mad Lions being able to claw back this deficit Twisted Fate plays need to be consistently and consecutively successful. For Mad Lions, this game is already nearly untenable. It is a jinx that's approaching Mythic, like 10, 12 minutes in. And I think if, yes, some of those shutdowns can come in, that's a 500 gold shutdown, which is huge at this stage. Xayos running away from his life, unstoppable force, will be enough to get him out for now, and Hilly and Chasey cannot find that kill.
Yeah, Mad Lions continually trying to throw as much as they can up towards top side. They use the Rift Herald up there. They got the extra turret plates. Chasey does have his lead, but Owner actually walks over into him.
He does indeed. Destiny into the gate, the gold card, the decimating smash. Nature's Grasp, Ponga lined up, Mad Lions avoided, but look, they cannot get onto Owner. Now, where is FLICKR? Sonic Wave connects from Alyoya. Dragon's Rage is still up for him. Hilly's the next target. No mana, no flash, no chance. Tower has fallen in the bottom lane. T1. They continue to apply pressure. Charm comes out. Wait just yet. Kick back forward under the tower. No, chase forward. The Lee Syndrome sends Alyoya to the fountain. And Niski takes so much damage from the Orbit Deception. Keria is cutting off the retreat. Hilly and Niski, 2 targets as the teleport now being channeled. Chasey's coming in with that Frozen Fist, and T1, they fancy not enough just yet, backing out for now. But again, they are the ones that are dictating the pace of this game.
Even when they get the angle onto FLICKR, kicking him under tower, Owner is there on the Maokai, cues him, interrupts the Lee Sin, sends him back to the fountain, and T1, not only do they get that kill, but they're able to reset here, push out on mid lane as well, with 3 members looking for Chasey, no ultimate on the Cassante.
Well, let's see what happens here. Devoured and spat back out, rooted into place, knocked backwards, and that, honestly, it's just beautiful. It's just great to watch. Kraken Slayer, 6 kills, gigantic lead, and Guma is already at late game jinx status.
Yeah, all that the carry has to do there is all FLICKR.
All right, let's find out what happens here. Charm is sidestepped. Gold card connects. FLICKR just about taken down. It's the moral victory for the Mad Lions.
It is a shutdown there for Carzzy, so Ezreal gets some money back into it, but the whole time Guma's just eating up here on these turret plates. The Cassante was
almost 3k gold. So Guma got all 5 plates in the bottom lane.
Yeah.
About to get, what, 3, 4 plates in the top lane. I don't know how many individually he's collected, right? I'd love to know if our observers or stats team could maybe give us some info on that one, because Guma is just flying ahead. Multiple members of Mad Lions trying to get him. Now that is a big shutdown, 650 gold. The 4,500 lead that they have, that will be helpful for Mad Lions, but they really need to try to catch him unawares, and right now that hasn't been the case.
What I think is really hard for Mad is picks like they got there on FLICKR, that's what they need to do, right? As you were pointing out,
yes.
You need to try and leverage the TF and the value that it provides to make these plays around the map. But T1 have either been shoving in and having full control of the map, having full control of vision, and thus being very acutely aware of where Mad is. But also, if it is ever anything less than a 4 versus 1, whoever is in there could probably stall until the rest of T1 arrive.
Yeah, with the setups for team comps in this game, Mad Lions have to play the map. The T1 have such a big advantage in those 5-on-5, so the dragon that's about to come up, I should see it sacrificed by Mad Lions.
Mega Death Rocket this time, not going to be able to work it out. But Guma's got a couple more plates in front of him, swaps over to Pow Pow. Hillisang looking for the stun, connects it onto FLICKR. Gold card after the second Spirit Rush. Sonic Wave has connected. Dragon's Ridge not available just yet. And under the tower, FLICKR still gets 1 back. But any gold for Mad Lions is good gold. Chasey, while he's being chased by Owner, don't think it will matter. Guma just, by the way, taking another tower. That's the guy you've got to kill, Mad Lions. Yes, killing FLICKR looks and feels good. But that 700 gold bounty is the one they have to find a way to unlock.
And the thing is, they kind of had to go top lane, so it's whoever's there is who we have to go for, because we can't fight this dragon. We can't fight the 5-on-5, so we have to go for those picks, extend the map, try and play as much range as we possibly can. That's why T1, keeping Guma in mid lane. He's safe. They get their tower there. They know it. The money's rolling in. The dragon's rolling in as well.
And even with that, right? Even with FLICKR missing a charm, they still trade 1 for 1. So what you end up getting just isn't enough, but Mad is in such a tough position because if you do actually try to fight with the disadvantage that you're in, it's just not going to work. So all you can do is try to find picks. When you find the picks, they don't really work out because of how far behind you are, but you got to try.
Listen, There's 4 out of 4 players are even in gold. Unfortunately, the 4,000 gold lead is all in Gumayushi's back pocket, the 4th-minute Infinity Edge. And that is exactly where T1 wanted it. I will say, by the way, I just want to give huge props here to Guma and Keria, because throughout the series, Guma's stats were 18 kills, 7 deaths, and 15 assists combined for game 1 and 2. And he's already at 602. But Keria, 1, 2, and 37 for the 2 previous games. Add 8 additional assists, 45 damn assists in 3 games. It is fantastic performance from the bottom lane, which has been the tip of the spear, which the comps have been built around, and they are the players that are unlocking these wins for T1.
Exactly. The comps and the level 1, I put so much emphasis on the advantage that T1 gains. T1 gains so much with that invade, completely splitting the map, and having the repeat dive ganks from not only Owner, but as well FLICKR going down there. They just hand-fed Gumayushi this game.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you know, you've already pulled that one meme out. The deal, you know, you get, I get. The other one thing is that Sion. It all started with that damn Sion. Another tower falls. The engage from Owner onto Niski. And the Mega Death Rocket won't connect this time, but I don't think it matters. Guma turns to Fishbones and picks up his lucky number 7. Keria goes forward with a dive, forced to flash defensively. True Shot Barrage has been fired and Hilly is being shot down. FLICKR goes over the wall. The charm won't find it. 16 minutes and the base has been broken open. LCK's top seeds have destroyed LEC's top seeds. And how much more can they get? Kazi is going low. He's taken out. Mad Lions cannot defend their base. At 16 and a half minutes, the Nexus turrets are being destroyed. The Nexus could be focused. It's up to Chasey to defend it. Have T1 seriously won a game in 17 minutes? I have never seen a more dominant win from a second seed taking down LEC's number 1 in 17 minutes. T1 embarrassed Mad Lions.
Guma God. Holy.
London, put your hands together for T1.
And as Emily was saying at the top of the day, this T1, when they can get a lead, when they can find early angles, they won't rest, they won't sit. Keria's Kench, I'm glad you pointed it out, was everywhere. He was in top ganking people, he was in mid ganking people, and all the while Guma was reaping the fruits that the rest of his team is getting ready for him. And what do you do after a game like that?
T1, hats off to the planning and staying focused on the game plan in this one. From the level 1, warding up on top side, walking the Sion down, splitting the entire map, going with the Sion dive, going with the repeat focus there. You take away any options that Mad Lions had to even play in the early stages. No flashes mid-jungle, bottom lane is completely nullified, so then they have to expend all resources towards topside and get the 33 gold lead.
Beautiful, beautiful game. And I will say with confidence, and I hope LoL Esports stats validate this for me, that was the quickest international win ever at 16 minutes and 56 seconds. This is unvalidated from stats, but I got a pretty good feeling about it. What a win. Jinx, Gumayushi, sorry, let me correct, I got his name wrong. Guma God, 10-0-3. I mean, he was a turret killing machine, he wasn't even playing Tristana.
And this is what I think a really big leap as well. Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do? What are you supposed to do? Exactly.
Because one of, I think, the biggest criticism that was levied towards T1 was that they love playing aggressive, they love playing towards topside, but with Guma's performance, more people were like, why don't we try playing around him? T1 realized it themselves very clearly, because in these 3 games, it was all about how they played around him, and man, did he deliver.
Bottom lane is a bit powerful at the moment.
Yeah. Thanks, Freak. No, that's not fair. That's not fair at all. I also think, look, while the champions are incredibly impactful, as we've seen throughout the meta, the way in which T1 set that up was great. You know, that damn Sion, I know we have mentioned it just like 10 minutes ago, but I think just such a great performance. Look at how that accelerated ahead. I mean, Guma and Keria, they were the players that T1 invested into. They were played around, and every single member of T1 delivered.
Really, really impressive stuff from them in their first best of 5 here this year at MSI. Let's see what's to come in the rematch versus Gen.G. I feel like those best of 5s always deliver, Chronicler.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm hoping that after this, everyone is as enthusiastic as I am about the prospect of those two teams facing off. Because with early games like that, gotta imagine everyone else is going to be feeling somewhat frightened. And what I really, really want to take away here as well is, again, as we saw on their owner, being able to get so much done on the Maokai, particularly in game number 2, facilitating the rest of his team in a way that I think is so pivotal for actually allowing T1 to play these aggressive early games.
For sure. Taking over jungle, repeat steal on Raptors number 2, dive bottom.
I have an official correction. The Lolly Sports stat team have just schooled me. That is the second fastest international game ever. There was one game quicker, and it was T1 beating IG. Both records held by T1 against 2 respectable opponents. And thank you for that correction, stats team.
As soon as you said that, I knew I was about to ask, is the other holder T1 themselves?
16:01 is the previous record, T1 IG at MSI 2019. 16:56, T1 Mad Lions. What a ridiculous record amongst absolutely everything else. I mean, just fantastic play. So not only do we now have the rematch of the LCK finals in the upper bracket, G2 will play Mad Lions. So it was a spring series matchup that started the finals weekend. Wasn't our finalists. You know, G2 were ultimately the 4th seed from spring. So now we know one of those teams will be eliminated. And pretty much kind of as expected, once we saw the draw, the matches did play out. I want to take nothing away from T1. It was a fantastic performance. You can see the players, they'll be getting set up on the stage in just a moment. But terrifying, terrifying prospect, at least on the bright side. One of these teams will be dropped to the lower bracket too. So let's see which one it'll be.
They can't both win.
No, they can't. I mean, it could be the end of finals, depending if they take down, the other half. So
yeah, could get scary here. Honestly, though, yeah, T1, very impressive performance.
Very impressive. I've just heard as well, the interview is ready, gentlemen. Thank you so much. We're going to head on stage for the star of today. Guma God, standing by in the Verizon post-game interview.
Thank you so much, guys. Gumayoshi, 안녕하세요. Thank you so much for joining me today. An amazing performance and dominance from T1. Could you please describe this series in one word for me?
오늘 정말 눈부신 활약과 압도적인 승리를 가져오셨습니다. 정말 축하드리는데요. 이번 경기 한 마디, 한 단어로 표현하자면 뭐라고 하고 싶으신가요?
So funny.
Yeah. Stomp, indeed. That makes a lot of sense. I want to talk about the approach you had in the last game with the double jungle, with Sion coming to bot lane. Why did you choose to go for this kind of play in the early game?
그렇다면 마지막 세트에 나왔던 약간 더블 정글 전략에 대해서 여쭤보고 싶습니다. 사이언도 일찍이 좀 정글링을 하면서 오히려 빨리 바텀 다이브하는 전략을 가져왔는데요. 이런 식으로 준비해 오신 이유는 무엇인가요?
이미 그 전략이 대회에서 한번 나온 적이 있는 걸로 아는데 그게 바텀 구도를 망가뜨리기 좋은 전략인 것 같아서 저희도 사용한 것 같습니다.
I'm pretty sure that approach or that strategy is already shown in other competitive match. So we knew that this is the perfect strategy to actually break the existing matchup of the bottom lane. So we wanted to give it a go too.
Yeah, definitely something we've seen in the early C as well. It makes sense given Mad Lions' agency in the early game. For the previous games, Aphelios was maybe the biggest topic on social media today. And we know that LCK Aphelios hits always different. Tell the world why you're such a good Aphelios player and why you stand above everyone else.
오늘 사실 경기를 보면서 가장 큰 화제가 되었던 토픽은 바로 아펠리오스였습니다. 모두가 정말 LCK 아펠리오스는 뭔가 다르다, 너무 잘 친다 이런 반응이 많았는데 그렇다면 왜 구마요시 선수가 세계 최고 아펠리오스인지 한번 말씀해 주시죠.
좀 두뇌전이 빠른 편이라서 그 무기 바꿔서 때리는 걸 잘하는 것 같고 원래 세계 최고 아펠이라고 생각했었는데 스킨의 주인이 생겨버려가지고 나중에 스킨을 만들면 그때 당당하게 말하겠습니다.
So I want to say my brain kind of works really fast. So I always calculate which armor it works the best, which weapon works the best. I always keep that in mind and always switch up really fast. And also I always had this confidence that I'm actually the best Aphelios in the world. And then someone made a skin for Aphelios. So I'm gonna wait until I can make my own Aphelios skin and reclaim that I am the best Aphelios in the world.
Later this year, hopefully. I know that in an interview recently you said that you wanted to have a rematch against FaZe and you're going to play Genji in your next match. We know how finals went in the LCK. Tell me why it will be different this time around and how much stronger T1 is since the last time you faced them.
구마요시 선수가 인터뷰에서 페이즈 선수와 MSI에서 만나보고 싶다라고 밝힌 바가 있는데요. 저희가 모두 LCK 결승에서 어떤 결과가 있었는지 알고 있지만 이번 리매치는 어떤 게 다를지 어떤 점을 증명할지 한번 말씀해 주세요.
일단은 결승전 지고 나서 한 번도 젠지에 대한 복수를 잊은 적이 없고요. 분노로 가득 차 있고요. 그리고 페이즈 선수가 되게 어린데도 공격적으로 한타에서 딜각을 잘 잡는다고 생각을 해서 그리고 젠지가 한타를 잘한다고 생각을 하고요. 그래서 그거랑 좀 비슷하게 조합을 맞춰가지고 누가 딜을 더 잘 넣나 그런 걸 겨뤄볼 것 같습니다.
So ever since we lost the finals, I have never forgotten about the finals, about my eager to get my revenge. My body right now is full of anger, you know? And every time I think about them, I just want to beat them. I just want to repay them with a win. And I think FaZe is really young, but he knows how to create his own angle in team fights and do damage. And Genji in general, they're so good at team fights. So I think T1 this time will match with their play style and put everything we've got.
Definitely a matchup to look forward to. Last question for you, Gumayoshi. So many people cheering for you today, so many fans internationally cheering for T1 in general. Is there anything you can say in English for your international fans today?
마지막으로 여기 현장에서도 정말 많은 팬분들이 T1과 구마요시 선수에 대한 응원을 보내주셨고 정말 국제적으로 많은 분들이 언제나 큰 응원을 보내주고 계신데 영어로 한마디 말씀 부탁드려도 될까요?
I love you. Thank you.
And thank you so much. 감사합니다. 화이팅 하세요. Thank you so much, Jisun, for the translation. And Shox, back to you in cooldown.
Thank you so much. What a lovely moment overall to top it off. I think Gumayoshi makes more international fans every time he plays at an international tournament, not only through the play, but also through the wonderful interview. Welcome everyone to MSI Cooldown. T1 destroyed the Mad Lions with a clean 3-0 sweep. It was looking kind of okay for a little bit, but then the bulldozer came in. It wasn't a truck this time.
Yeah, I mean, I unlike Kobe, enjoy a good Scion swap, you know? This iteration, I believe it was BDS that did it first, right? In a professional game where you're actually diving and allowing the Scion to die. But I thought this was great from T1 for a lot of reasons. Kuma already touched upon it, but you accelerate the Jinx, you split the map. It's so uncomfortable for Mad to play. It's a really good use of that Scion swap here, and you could tell that they prepped for it.
Absolutely, and when you take the draft into consideration as well, it's like who in God's name is going to kill the front line if it's not the Ezreal, right? Yep. And once the Ezreal is put down, there's just no recourse for Mad in this game. There's nothing that they can really battle back with. You know, this game really started off on the wrong foot so quickly for Mad. In the previous games, they got early advantages. When this one went bad early on, you know, the flash force on Niski, then the invade, Elyoyo's force out of his own jungle, then the dive on bot lane. You kind of got that feeling like, oh, this could be a quick one.
Yeah, Mad Lions is a team that sometimes can bounce back, and we've said in the EU region domestically, they can bounce back from situations like this, but I think this is just a different kind of competition that you run up against. And T1, after the early phases of game one, just looked like a completely different team, and to me, quite unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, again, I know Chronicler called me up for saying it. He reiterated it over on the cast. But like, once this T1 team has a lead, they are incredible at snowballing it. Again, they set up to make sure that their bot lane was in a really strong carry position. And they also made it super difficult for Elyoya to interact with his lanes and find out where he was going.
The 1+ player of the series is Gumayoshi, which I think is not a big surprise.
I'm so shocked.
What's going on? But I mean, this seems crazy. That game one to start with.
Game one was by far the most impressive. You know, I think if you're just looking at games 2 and 3, you could consider Owner. A lot of the T1 members played really, really well. But game one, the only possible way T1 could have actually come back in that one was a monster performance from Gumayoshi, and he delivered. We saw him taking over in the next 2 games as well, making it look easy. This guy was really just on a whole nother planet today.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you heard his confidence on stage, right? Where he's like, I want to prove that I am the best Helios player in the world, which is amazing to hear from him. He is the bot laner that T1 chose, right? They were like, this is our guy going forward. We have so much faith in him, and he is absolutely delivering on those promises.
Absolutely, and when you kind of look at his trajectory overall, I feel like together with the whole T1 squad, who we said at the top of the day is on the precipice of taking that big title and winning in those finals, I feel like it goes hand in hand with Gumayusi's development as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I think he really has matured as a player. You know, I think T1 as a whole, there's so many young players on this team, and it feels like they're veterans because we keep seeing them in so many international finals, but they really haven't been around in the scene for that long. You know, it's incredible to see how good they are already, and knowing that, you know, Oner and Zeus and Keria and Guma are all new to the scene relatively and are still improving year after year. Like, this is a team that could truly be, you know, an unstoppable dynasty in these next couple of years.
It's also so cool to see them like grow and mature across not just domestic but international stages. Like, we were talking about Guma, but then you and I were talking about Oner during that game 3 where we're like, you know, he's really evolved as an individual, and you could say that about every single one of these young players who kind of, it's built around FLICKR as like the best player to ever play the game.
Grandpa FLICKR and the young.
Yeah, exactly. FLICKR and the Zoomers.
It's cool to see, and I think people will sometimes be like, oh, you talk about Gumayusi. Well, yeah, okay, we got to pick something. We don't have endless time, but I like that you both called it out. It's everyone on that team that are carrying their weight and more so. And I know some people may be bummed, and they're like, oh, you know, your team's lost, but Gen G T1 rematch, that is so exciting. And G2 Mad rematch from Winter. Someone's got to win.
Also, if you're an EU fan, you can cheer for the LCS teams to lose, so you don't feel as bad.
No. Now I can cheer for them to lose. No, I'm kidding. I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see, you know, how the G2 Mad one goes. You know, obviously we did see Mad take this rematch in spring, in winter. Sorry, I always get this confused with the new format. And in winter, obviously,
we do too, don't worry.
G2, you know, got the 3-0. They dominated, but Mad looked a lot better, you know, in the next time that they matched up. So I think that's going to be a really interesting one. And we'll have to see, you know, how the teams are confidence-wise and how they're going to be feeling. I also think the LCK Finals rematch, I'm really favoring T1 because I felt like Doran was such an X factor, such a surprise in that series. And to me, that was so much about the Gragas pick. And I think now that that card has kind of been shown, unless Gen G can really show a different wrinkle, unless they have the confidence to bring out things like Fiora and do different things against Zeus, which I don't think they will, I am really favoring T1. And that's why I just think this team could go very, very far in this tournament.
Yeah, I think they're really hungry for this matchup too. Again, you heard Guma where he's like, every time I think of pace in finals, I feel angry. But
that
this
Showmaker meme about perks or everything.
Yeah. See that
so
smug
mad.
mid laner's face. I love this matchup. It's definitely I know the LCK broadcast is leaning to us too. It's like you again. But these matchups are always so fun to watch. And I also agree. I think T1 are in a really, really strong position going into this match.
And the hope is that because we're at MSI, because the scrims have been happening, because the learnings from both the domestic finals and what you have here, maybe it will all come into fruition. And that's really my hope for these winter bracket finals. Of course, also for the lower bracket games as we continue, that they level up in skill. And this could be such a good best of 5.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it could be really, really exciting. You know, I think the lower bracket could be really exciting as well because, you know, you want to see the learnings that the LEC teams can take from that, and you want to see a confident performance, even if it is just against the other LEC team, to go into what is potentially, you know, another LPL team or an LCS team or whatever they're going to have to fight there.
I'm glad you brought it up because we had the LCK versus LEC matchups, 2 of them, and now we get 2 LPL versus LCS matchups. Starting tomorrow, it's C9 versus BLG.
Please.
Azael.
Please.
Lay it on us. Give us the hopium.
I mean, I think C9 has a good shot, right? I think, you know, being realistic, I think this could go either way. I'd probably favor BLG maybe like 60-40, but I definitely think C9 has the capability to take them down. I don't think BLG is infallible by any means. Yagao, I do think, you know, makes a lot of mistakes. I don't think he's the most dominant laner. I actually think C9, you know, their biggest opportunity is probably through mid jungle. I think if Blabber and MNS are playing at their best, they are really, really powerful as a duo. They're really aggressive. They take a lot of risks. If that goes bad, it's going to go really bad against them. And I think when you're looking at some of the strengths of BLG, you have to hope that Bin is more the Bin from play-ins than he is from LPL, because Bin was not looking as good. We saw Licorice actually handle him very well, and Fudge obviously had handled Licorice in the LCS. Those transitive properties don't always really work. But I do have confidence that if C9 are playing at their best, this is a series that they can win.
Oh, it's just nice. We haven't seen anything yet. The Hopium is still there. Do you agree with the Zale?
I mean, I'm still kind of favoring BLG. I think
said 60-40 BLG.
Yeah, these two teams are super interesting though, because I can also see them both just trying to like slam into each other early and having whoever comes
Hands
out
battle,
ahead.
baby.
Yeah. You mentioned mid jungle. I think it's kind of cool to look at Blabber and MNS, where MNS is the player that you're driving behind, right? Like he is the one where you're looking to get a really good matchup, and he wants to stomp lane. And then Yugao, he wants to go to sides more, and then you have Shun on more of a like kind of carry types, or trying to play more of a carry role. So that's a really, really interesting matchup. In addition to obviously Elk had a phenomenal performance in play-ins. He's been someone who like I've watched since he was on WE when he was named Chomung, and it's been really great to see his evolution as a player, because he's almost made it to the international stage several times. So seeing him go up against Berserker is going to be so fun too.
Yeah, I think it's one of the most hyped prospects, seeing Alec and Berserker play at MSI.
Berserker told me he's going to save NA, so we're holding him to it.
Okay.
This is true. I was there.
Good. Also, shout out to the star of the show today, which is our paper. Wait, never mind.
Oh yeah, where
you want to get it one more time? It's here.
The true star of the show.
Yeah, this was great.
I thought you were going to say Emily, but you're making her hide behind.
Yeah, no,
that was the joke. Actually, that was actually the joke.
People
hated it. People hated it, but we don't care.
Oh.
True.
No, they loved it.
You know what is super interesting is that I had forgotten this until now. Kerry has not played Annie. Oh, no, he has. Never mind.
Well, it's in the shared pool.
Wow, I am an idiot.
Anyway, anything you want to add to this?
Maybe if the paper was bigger, then you would have been able to.
Fine. Okay, one more note. Sorry, guys. We're supposed to say goodnight, but it's early. We don't know where we're going to go for dinner
I don't know
yet.
what to do for this, but this is just this is one of Kerry's best champions, right?
Can you write Zyra just for lore, so that...
Zyra?
Okay. Just write it down.
Where?
She told me to do this. We'll do it off camera. Okay, great. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. We had a lot of fun today. And tomorrow, the LCS and the LPL will enter the stages. Cloud9 will be facing off against Billy Gaming. We'll see you then. Good night. Bye.
Waiting for the cooldowns. He's managed to got the taste of fear. Down to 200. Elyoya goes away. Sonic Wave in. It's a double for the Lions. Let's go! And this minion wave is relatively strong. Kobe, I think they're setting up for a dive. They may not even need it. The feathers are available. It's Elyoya that snipes it. Fake is burning. Dredge lighting. Death from below. And Guma's the next target. Feather storm out. Kazi wants to close it out with the help of Elyoya. Somehow, Mad Lions bring it back from the jaws of Teamfight defeat. FLICKR gets another. Niski uses the Hourglass just to buy some time, but Guma has done it once again. And as I say that, the gift is given that owner concedes fifth blood to Mad. No flash for Niski. The sapling toss will go forward. That's the flash. Bramble toss smash. Owner gets one back, all out under the tower. The third proc in the queue, flashed away from underneath the tower and flashed. 1-for-1 in the mid lane.
Oh, you didn't
get the flash.
But where is Guma? So far untouched, so far undamaged, so far unkillable.
Okay, guys, it's time to redeem ourselves.
Let's get it, boys. Yet another reverse win.
Maybe Niski can sort of fake it for once.
Level 3 for Ona. Decimating smashes, sidestep, cleanse, flash. The shield comes up, Zeus is down. And Zombie Scion chases 2-1 to T1. Guma's gonna arrive late to the party. Kazi's already running for his life with that arcane shift. He's ticking, he's burning, he's down. It's another 2 kills to T1 under the tower.
Let him go. Ari copy, guys.
At 16.5 minutes, the Nexus turrets are being destroyed. The Nexus could be focused. It's up to Chasey to defend it. Have T1 seriously won a game in 17 minutes? I have never seen a more dominant win from a second seed taking down LEC's #1 in 17 minutes. T1 embarrassed Mad Lions.